Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been a hot minute. I have lots of exciting things to update you on. I'm here with my jam jar. If you know, you know. My OGs will know my jam jar and squash. I feel like this is going to be a thirsty work conversation. But yeah, so much to update you on. Probably the biggest one is, if you do follow me on Instagram, then you probably would have seen I am pregnant. So if I'm out of breath, that'll do it. That'll be why. I also find it really, when I'm nervous, I also hold my breath. So just breathe throughout this one. But really exciting, and actually, to be honest with you, I've been wanting to film this one for a while, and I have been meaning to pick up the camera sooner. But I just wanted to, I've got other backlogs as well of YouTubes, so we've got all the YouTubes coming, etc. But I just wanted to come back with this one, I think, because something I am so passionate about, and something that, you know, I really feel like a huge responsibility for and stuff as well, is women's health. And so I really wanted to take the opportunity to speak on that first, and endometriosis, all things endometriosis, pregnancy, health, what I've done, what I'm doing. But yeah, I am over 5 months pregnant. I'm well over halfway. We are there, which is honestly absolutely mental to say. But I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who has written such incredible, kind words to me. I honestly feel so grateful. I'm so lucky to have such an amazing community of women who are just positive, uplifting, and not just good vibes. We're here for the good vibes, and I've really missed you guys. But to be honest with you, I needed to take some time away from YouTube. I think the last time I was YouTubing was when me and Alex moved to Ibiza, and I was YouTubing and I was doing it, but I was, to be honest with you, hating it. And I was like, why am I doing something, adding something extra to my plate when I don't feel like I'm in a place to mentally want to do it, and I'm showing up as someone I'm not, and I don't want to be. I wasn't well, I was not happy, and I just really needed time to myself for me to make me happy again. And I really feel that now. So I just feel like it's such a lovely time to come back online and start my YouTube up again, when I'm actually just feeling you know, I've done so much work on myself this past year. I feel the most me I've felt in such a long time, and I think that's something that is really exciting. And yeah, it's been a lot, I think, with women's health, and with me, with my endometriosis and PCOS, and my fibroid, sorry. It definitely took such a toll on my mental health, and it is such a mental battle, and you have to show such resilience and strength. And I think anyone who is going through women's health issues or has endometriosis, you are not alone in this, and you are so strong. It's not something easy to go through, and please just keep pushing through, is some of the advice that I would give, just straight off the bat, because it will get better. And I think as soon as we have that diagnosis, or we can understand things that do and don't help our bodies, we can really help ourselves so much. But I think the mental battle over the years has been definitely taken a toll on myself. But I would say since having worked on myself from I want to say it really started probably from March last year. I was I want to start showing up for me in the best way I can. I felt low. I'd had my fibroid operation, but I just wasn't feeling me, and I just really took another grip of my health. And I'm so glad I did. And this year is the best I've ever felt, and the healthiest I've been without restricting or anything like that in such a long time. And I'm waffling. We're going here, there, and everywhere. Guys, if you've been with me for a while, you'll know I'll just hit the roundabouts. But I'll just go everywhere before I get to my point. But there is a point of this. Sorry, my mum just sending me baby names. Honestly, I feel like our choice in baby names our parents are gonna have something to say. Alex's parents are definitely gonna have something to say in the boy department if it is a boy. We do not know. But I will dive more into everything like women's health and everything like that in a little bit, and the endometriosis. But I just kind of really want to take this opportunity with like me being pregnant and health and the journey that I've been on to like hopefully like encourage other women and be something positive for women to look to, because I know when I was first diagnosed with endometriosis, I had never even heard of it, and I think I've said this before, being very dyslexic and a word like that, I'm like, excuse me, sorry, what do I have now? So endometriosis, I'm just going to give you the like textbook condition, is a condition resulting from the appearance of endometrial tissues outside the uterus and causing pelvic pain. But it doesn't just grow in the uterus, it can grow like anywhere, everywhere. So there's just so much more research that needs to be gone into women's health that just isn't, and into women in general. And so I think the more awareness we can all bring to it, like the better. But yeah, that is endometriosis. So if I go back to, a little bit of my journey, I guess. So I was diagnosed with endometriosis in around 2016. And then I had my operation probably soon after, but the fight to get the diagnosis was incredibly hard. And I know so many women go through that and they get pushed away, get told they're being dramatic, etc. I actually ended up going to a gynecologist, and I went private due to the fact that I felt like I was just being dismissed and not listened to, and I was like, I know my body, there's something not right with me. I was extremely tired all the time, my skin was terrible, I was putting on weight, but I think the weight gain for me was due to the fact that I was extremely tired. I was then reaching for really sugary, shitty foods, and then I wasn't actually able to exercise because I was so tired. So it was like the combination of that, something that I could have taken more control over, and now I think I've been much stronger with, and I've found ways to be really healthy, because sugar is like the worst thing you can have for endometriosis. Sugar is the worst thing you can have for cancer, whatever it is. Like a healthy whole food diet is always going to be better for you than eating loads of sugar. But sugar, endometriosis actually feeds off of sugar and stuff, so that's not ideal. And I was just like so inflamed, like I got really depressed, I was super low, and then I got the diagnosis. I'm running through this because I have done another video on like a bit more, very emotional, younger stuff, but we don't need to like go into all of that. I don't want to make this like too much about me, but like the advice I can give, it can only be based off of like my own personal experiences. So I then got the operation, which was the laparoscopy. I can never say it. I'll put it up here, what it is. I had the operation, which was keyhole, so it was just like, I think 5 keyhole in my tummy, like through my belly button on the side. Alfred Kuttner was the guy who did it for me, who's absolutely incredible. And then he removed the endometriosis, but in the pre-scans there was also fibroids, but they were like small-ish, but they weren't removed, and I actually don't know why. I feel like there potentially was a reason. But once I had the operation, I then had the Mirena coil in. I've been on contraception since I was literally like 14 years old, because I used to play a lot of sport, and my period was getting in the way of me like playing sport all the time. If I had my period, I would feel crap, etc. So naturally, whack a 14-year-old on the pill, which is honestly wild. So I'd basically been on all different contraception as well, from the age of 14 all the way through to like 30, 29. So anyway, I went on the Mirena coil, but actually that was really good, and some of my friends who have now also been diagnosed with endometriosis have done the same thing, and I really recommend that one. Again, it worked for me. I can't say if it will work for you, but that's personally, and I know that it does help. So I went on that, and then loads of the symptoms like really settled, and I really took a more serious grip on my health. I really focused on like what was actually going to serve me and what was going to be good for my body, especially in terms of like movement, diet. I did a lot more lower impact. I've been lifting like heavy, but I was never able to be like consistent with it, to be honest with you, because 5 days a week, especially, you'll know this if you have endometriosis, trying to do that when you're already exhausted, like it was just like awful, and it made me even more inflamed. So I think I just like really reassessed how I was moving my body. I started implementing like more functional training, lower weights, like really focusing on form. I started doing a little bit more like Pilates, like bitty here and there, and just kind of doing a little bit more like core control things within my workouts. And like I felt 100 times better. Like I felt like a different person, but I was still suffering from a lot of pain. So like beforehand, I'd be like walking down the street, just like you bloody curl over with pain, and it's like crippling, and it has such a huge effect on your day to day. But women are so strong. We move, you know, we move. And then my fibroids, basically, when I was gonna get my Mirena coil out, and I was still suffering so much with loads of pain, basically like loads of pain during sex. Like even like if I was like turned on, I'd feel this like ooh in my stomach. I mean, like I passed out from the pain, I vomited from the pain. Like it's pretty intense. And so I was like, I'm gonna get the Mirena coil removed. Like I want to come off contraception. I've been on it since I was an infant, and I just want to be and feel like myself, and like, yeah. So I basically then got the Mirena coil out of there, obviously. And when he was getting out stuff, he also then said about, I noticed I had fibroids, which is why I would also still be suffering from so much pain. And they were like 8 centimeter fibroids, which is like actually very considerable. And I used to piss all the time. I literally be like out for a half an hour walk, and I'd be like, I need to bloody go in the bush. Like I couldn't get anywhere without being like, I am gonna wee myself. And I just thought I was a hydrated gal, you know? But I was not. Well, I was, obviously, but it was because the fibroid was like right in my bladder. So then basically booked in an appointment on getting my fibroids removed as well, but it's like a little bit of a different operation. So you have the keyhole, but you also have like, depending on how big your fibroids are and stuff as well, you have them cut out of you, whereas endometriosis, they like burn away. But they went back in, and the gold standard to see if you have endometriosis or not is the operation when you're in the belly and you can like see you're in there, and they have no sign of endometriosis, which is absolutely incredible. And I really do think that is so down. I mean, I was lucky because it was like, I guess, more early stages of endometriosis, but the fact they hadn't come back and stuff, I do think was hugely down to like me having a massive like lifestyle change, and you know, focusing on my diet more, focusing on what exercise I was doing more, and just to not like make me inflamed. And that is why I train like I do today. That's why, you know, I stopped drinking. I think unfortunately it's like until your health is impacted and you're like, oh, that's when you make the change. Like I feel like a lot of people don't prevent, they're very much like aftercare, but like we should try to be preventative because it can literally happen to anyone. So to be healthy is like, for me, to be like super happy, and when I'm healthy, I'm like my best version of myself in every single way, and I don't need the other things to like supplement like a quick fix of making me feel good, because like I just feel good because I'm being like healthy, happy, active, like, you know. And again, that is without restriction, and I think that's so important. I think there's this thing when people say about healthy, like I think like the association, especially probably for like 90s babies, it's like the association of being healthy, and then like this restriction that like kind of enters our heads. It's, oh, that must mean we have to pull back. And it's like, actually no, like think about what more you can add into your life. And I always say this, it's like, what else can you add into your life, rather than like, I need to take away this, take away that. It's like, okay, I need to add in like, you know, I would walk a little bit more, or I'll add in, you know, like I'll add in some Pilates, I'll add more fiber, I'll add more greens into my diet, I'll add more like fruits and lovely things. And it's not thinking about like, I can't have that anymore. And obviously everyone is always going to have like nice treats and things like that, but it's not like a fixation. And I think you like, if you fixate on like bad foods and things like that, then you're just gonna want them more. I digress. So I then had my fibroid operation, which was a bigger operation, and then so I have a cut, which is essentially where the same cut as where along you would have a C-section. So they cut through like the same muscles and stuff. So the recovery for that is slightly different to like the endometriosis operation. And that operation I had now around 3 years ago. And when I got my coil out, the man said to me like, "Are you guys thinking about having kids soon? Because if you are, then I would really recommend like you having these removed now." And I was like, not like instantly, but like, yeah, I do really want kids. And I think that's something that cropped up like a lot for me when you first diagnosed endometriosis. Well, I felt like you're kind of scaremongered into being like, it's going to be so hard for you to conceive, it's going to be so hard for you to have children, like this. And it's like, why would I'm quite like a flippant, I don't listen if I don't want to kind of thing, but that information is obviously going to stay with you. But I've always been like super positive, like it will happen for me. Like if I want it to happen for me, it will happen for me. But I've never really spoken about it because I think I was always probably in the back of my mind like worried that if it couldn't happen for me, I have to mentally be okay with that. And Alex as well, and he was always like to me like, obviously, like, yeah, do we want kids? We do, but if we can't have them, like that's okay, like we're enough. And he was always super supportive of that, and like made me feel very like secure and safe in that respect, like, which I think is like, I'm so lucky, and he's been incredible throughout my entire like endometriosis journey. And I think having the support of your friends, or even like, you know, being involved in a charity, or having your mum help you, having people to like have a soundboard of people who've been through it as well, so that you know you're not alone, you can get tips and things like that, I think is so key as well. So I'll go back, sorry. I did have a list written out of how I was going to do this video. As you can tell, that list has not been used, and I have just gone bada bada bada. But we are going to go back to my fibroids. So had that operation, had removed, and I was still in so much pain prior to that. But my wellness journey and stuff has definitely I was in quite a good place, etc. I got them removed, and then my pain and everything went, which was pretty crazy to feel like pain-free after basically like over 10 years of being in pain. And then, yeah, I'd say obviously like it got progressively worse, but yeah, that was obviously like absolutely incredible. And is incredible to live and feel, like I said earlier, like the most myself I've ever felt, and been like, oh my god, this is how I'm supposed to feel. Like I feel like Steph again, like I feel like I did when I was younger, like full of beams, the energy, like up for like just, you know, like wanting to like grab life by like the fullest. And I think I'd lost that in myself. I hate crying on camera. I'm such a crier. I'm just a crier these days. I felt like I'd lost that in myself. And so to feel, and I think so many women with women's health problems, you feel like there's something wrong with you, there's this shame, there's this stigma that comes with it, which I just want to like be dropped, because like so many of us go through it, and like we can all help each other and bring more awareness to it, and we should be talking about it, because there are ways that we can like help ease the pain, or, you know, help us feel better. And it's just like frustrating, and I get so upset when I have like some girls messaging me about like your symptoms and stuff like that. You know, I feel like, I know I've been through a lot, but I feel like one of the lucky ones almost, that I've not had it like other people have. But everyone and women that I speak to who have had it are so incredibly strong. And it does build such like resilience in you, and I think like we wouldn't be given something like this if we couldn't handle it, and like be able to fight. And so I just think if you are going through it, like there is definitely like hope. And it took me maybe longer because of the process, but I think now there's so much more awareness around all of this, there's so much more help, there's so much things you can do. And I think especially with exercise and nutrition, like I cannot like put that in enough. That is always going to be the number one thing to help you with anything that you have. Mental health, illness. Like exercise and nutrition, like what you do with your body and what you put into your body helps you so much. And I think it's very tricky because sometimes, like myself, I was, you know, super low, and then naturally you just like go for those more like sugary things, which then like, you know, make you feel worse, more sluggish, like all these kind of things. But I do think, obviously I have had operations as well, but that if I'd have had the operations and I was still eating shit and not remotely trying to move my body, I'm not telling you to run a marathon, I'm saying like walk, you know, like literally just stretch, like start to do things that for you make yourself like feel better. I think it doesn't have to be an extreme, it's just like implementing little things all the time that can help you help yourself. Like you have to help yourself, amongst like obviously being able to have different operations and then being given, you know, a coil and stuff like that. I haven't been on any medication or any contraception for years, and I feel like I mean right now, I mean I'm pregnant, I do not feel my best, I won't lie to you, but like prior to that I've felt like I'd leveled myself in such an amazing way, and I just felt like me. And I think that's ultimately like the state that we want to feel. It's like I don't want to be like, oh my god, I wake up and I'm like da 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 da, like happy da da. It's like it's just waking up and feeling like that contentment of just normal and like not being in pain. And I just feel like so grateful and so lucky to have had that. And I think, you know, and I'm so lucky that we were able to conceive. Because yeah, I was worried, and we'd had a conversation like, shall we try, etc. Again, I don't want this to come across, because I know it can be such a touchy subject with like pregnancy, and everything. That I know, like it's like some of my friends, it's like taken them years to conceive, and yeah, like, you know, people have had to stop drinking and really like take care of their health and stuff. But this is what I mean as well. It's like prevent it before you need to prevent it as well. Like take care of yourself, like self-care if you can. And my God, with fitness, if you want to train for something, train for pregnancy. Because if I wasn't strong, my first bit of my pregnancy, I don't know how, it's hard. It's been hard. And I'm so sorry if you are going through anything which is like you're finding it harder to conceive or anything like that. And I can't, but I still just want to be able to like speak my experience, because I do think like for me personally with endometriosis, or having had it and seeing like hope and knowing that actually like you don't need to be scaremongered into being like it's never going to be for me, because I think negative talk is also so incredibly impactful. Same as like self-talk in a positive way is so impactful. If you are telling yourself constantly, this is never gonna happen for me, like you're talking yourself down, like it's low, like I can't do it, like I get to do it, like I've got this, we can, you know, it's gonna be fine for me. What's gonna be for me, well, it will happen, like, and if it's gonna happen for me. And that's kind of always the energy that I've tried to like have with it. And I just think, you know, even with like running and stuff, when I first started running and I was like, ugh, but then I'm like, I get to do this. And now like Alex, he's training for the marathon, for example, and he's like, oh, I've got to bloody run 24k this morning. And I'm like, don't give me the like negative energy. I'm like, lucky you. Like, I was like, I would love to hop up and run out with you right now. I was like, but I can't, older than baby. So, and that just, my exercise has just been out the window, but we'll get it, well, not out the window, but we'll get a little bit more into that anyway. But yeah, so we were lucky enough to basically, we started trying and conceived straight away, which we obviously are like so grateful for, and I feel so lucky. And I've always wanted a March baby, and we were laughing because I was like, well, we want it like, you know, if we're gonna try, like I want that like spring, March, April baby. And yeah, I just feel very lucky that that is happening for us. Touching all the wood. I'm past the like 20-week scan as well now. I really did want to wait until I was over that 20-week scan to like share with everyone. I think just as like for myself, it's something that's like very personal. I also felt so unwell for like basically up until 18 weeks of my pregnancy. Also, you know, sounds so stupid, but I was uploading some like, you know, little videos of me when I felt that I basically every workout I could do, I filmed and I put on my Instagram, which wasn't loads, and they were like 30 minutes, and I was uploading like some pictures and stuff, but then I was getting some like nasty comments about like me having my boobs done, and I'm soft. Like the reason I don't respond to hate or I don't engage in it particularly is because it's like you just bring it on more, and I'm just like I don't have the energy or the time to be worrying about what some losers are saying about me, like, who have like no idea, like literally no idea, and it's like almost like amusing to me of like what's going on. And it's like people saying, and I was like, do you know what, I just don't want to like show up because I can't be asked with the like negative, your boobs are done. I'm like, I'm growing a baby, like my tits, like that is literally what has happened here. Me and Alex made my boobs, they're homegrown. Sorry gals, to be fair, around 8 weeks, my friends, and even now, we're not concerned about the bump. We're like, show me the boobs. Like if I were ever to get surgery, that is what I'd want, but I would never say never. I understand that, but like I do also feel like a huge responsibility to the fact that like I am natural, and I personally like, I don't find like my boobs to make me feel any more like womanly or like sexy or any of those things. I'm like, give me my pecs back. Like I can't lie on them, they're just in the way. How does one dress boobs? Like it's actually so hard. One of my one of my breast friends, she does have phenomenal breasts. She's like my height, so she's small as well. She's maybe like a tiny bit taller actually, but she's tiny and then with like massive norks. And I've always been like, you lucky bugger. And she's like, no. And now I'm like, I feel you. Like, how do you dress? It's like, I'm not trying to get them out, but like, they're just always out. Anyway, that was a complete digression of what I was talking about. But just like your body changing throughout pregnancy is just wild. And my boobs came in thick and fast. Actually, in mine and Alex's, I filmed us like when I told him I was pregnant. And I watched it back a couple of days ago, and he just starts going, laughing. He's like, your tits. Because he obviously realised that that's why my tits had just like blown up. But yeah, pregnancy has definitely been a journey so far. I think it's something that no one can prepare you for, even with like having children or like going into like an operation for endometriosis. It's like, you're always gonna come out and you're gonna be fine, you'll deal with it, we're so strong. But yeah, that it's not the most pleasant thing you're ever going to go through in your life, but also nothing anyone can say can really prepare you. And I just think like, so just be positive and just like make the most of thinking, it's going to make me better, I'm going to be feeling more myself, they're going to find out what it is, all these different things. And I know that like are complications and things can go wrong and all of those things, I know that, but I just think to try and be more positive. And even like, you know, people being like, oh, just you wait. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm sure there'll be lots of scary and all the other things, but there's also going to be so many wonderful, positive things. And I think for me personally, with my like women's health journey and feeling like I maybe like kids weren't on the cards for me, and then being able to like take hold of my health like I have, and then being able to get pregnant and go through pregnancy, I think, yeah, I just feel so grateful, and I am going to be more positive about it because I've been through that, and so I want to be like happy and positive and just think about it in that light. With your endo and with your women's health, I think I've said it a lot, but like, you know, my way of training, so like my method is I strength train, Pilates, and I'll jog. Like that for me, hybrid training has changed my life. Like it's genuinely changed my life. And the fact that I'm able to share that with other women on We Glow who have also come to me with you know, knowing that I have endometriosis and they've been through it as well, and then I've been able to share that with them, and then they're like, oh my gosh, wow, I'm actually able to stay consistent and I don't have that burnout. I think that is something so incredibly special, that I've had something negative happen to me, but I've been able to like bring out a positive and hopefully help women. I think is all you can like hope from something like that. And I think anyone with it as well, whether you have a platform or not, to be able to share and talk about it, check in with your friends, like, you know, what's your period like? Because if it's super, super painful, that's not normal. I went back to having normal periods and I was like, what a treat this is. Like, yeah, you get a bit of cramping for like a tiny bit, and like your luteal phase, when you're ovulating, my tits get a bit bigger, you know, you go through all those bits and bobs, but like, it shouldn't be crippling pain. That is something not right, and something that you should take control of, speak to your doctor. And I think having those conversations with your girlfriends and with your partners as well is super important. I think for men to understand, women, we have so many more hormones and things flying around our bodies, and I think the more that men understand it as well, I think the more that they understand us, because we're complex, you know. And yeah, so I would say, like, please speak to your friends and stuff about it as well. And then, yeah, so the pregnancy, the bump is bumping. I feel like in my picture that I uploaded, people were like, God, your bump is big. It is. Is it? I feel like that dress made it maybe look extra bumping, but I'm just like, I don't know, it's been a journey. I was like vomiting in the night for the first like 4 weeks, so nauseous. Like, all I genuinely ate was, maybe I would say 80% of the time for the first 18 weeks was like, I could have egg, but like really, really fucking cooked egg, and bread. Like, I was just eating bread, like bread, and I would be hungry, I'd eat the bread, and then I'd be like, okay, I feel a bit better, I don't feel so sick, and then you just want more because you feel so sick again, and then you just want to lie horizontal because you're so, like, it's like having a 10-day bender. Obviously everyone's journey is different, but like, yeah, the first hit for me was not good. And then I actually, when I went to New York and I got back from New York, from like the week 15 to like, I guess 18, I was just like emotional and not well at all. You know, even when I went to Venice, I was like, okay, I've turned a little bit of a corner, and then it's like, nope, like, you absolutely have not, gotcha. So yeah, and then after New York, I actually rang 111. I was like, help. I literally couldn't move my head. I think because I've been like emotional as well, just because like hormones, I was so dehydrated. It's just like a whirlwind of craziness. But what I will say, right, first trimester, things I wish I had done from the start. First of all, potentially not gone for the really yummy bread and opted for some lighter options like crackers and, I don't know, like wafer thins, just because you literally just need something that's gonna make you feel not sick. Bone broth, I wish I started having bone broth earlier, because collagen, protein, like, it's stomachable. When I felt really nauseous, sick, headache, and I had bone broth, which was probably I only realized this week 16, which is so frustrating. It literally saved me. So if you are feeling nauseous or anything like that, like, it feels disgusting, it's actually very delicious, depending on what time of the day you have it and depending what kind of person you are. But bone broth was an absolute saviour. I started making cucumber sandwiches as well, because the cucumber giving me that hydration and the bread with the nauseousness. So cucumber sandwich was when I really branched out. And exercise, to be honest with you, like, give yourself grace. I did what I could. First trimester, you don't really need to adjust or adapt too much anyway to training. You can kind of be training how you've already been training. But for me, it was bare minimum. When I did it, it was like 30 minutes. And then I wouldn't work out for weeks. Like, the week just gone, I've done nothing. I've been busy with work. And sometimes if I train, I get so fucking exhausted. I feel like I can't do anything else and I need to do everything else. So it's just basically just slightly adjusting. Now I have started strength training more, which I feel so incredible and I feel so motivated to be able to like train again. I think especially after basically like 18 weeks of, like, it's probably the longest I've ever gone without really being able to do anything, like lifting a weight, please, absolutely not. And not being able to run as well. And I really miss running, because for me running is my mental space, and it's just like I fly, I think it's just like makes me happy. And so I think I've really struggled with not being able to just have that little like release. But yeah, I'm really focusing on weight training at my core. Now that I'm able to train again, I think there's so much that women are like, again, scaremongered into, like, you can't do this, you can't do this. There's so much you can still do. You can pretty much do everything. I think neglecting your core is like not wise. Like, we need a strong core during pregnancy. Like, we are holding a baby. And so I think, yeah, just basically being able to train again and focus on that. And I'm doing more, because with Pilates, I'm still implementing it a little bit. And I'm going to be implementing it a little bit more, maybe like one session a week. But I think when I was trying to do body weight, this is like after I'd had a lot of time off, I was so out of breath and I just really struggled. And so I've focused a lot more on upper body weights, because I want to feel strong. And if I can't hold my body weight, I want to be able to do weights, have a rest. Weights, have a rest. And that for me, I think during pregnancy is just working really, really well. Alongside like being able to like train legs again and stuff. It just feels like very empowering, and I think you have a whole new purpose, and I want to be like the strongest version of myself for my baby. Obviously that's gonna make me cry. Yeah, I want to be like the strongest person I can, like for myself, for my baby, show up as like the best version of me for everyone around me. And I know that like exercise helps that so much, and mentally helps me so much. And I also, I think around that like 15-week mark, because I hadn't been training, I mentally was really struggling, and it reminded me of when I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and I was going through that with endometriosis, and I was in a really low place. I was like, oh my god, I can't go back there. But like, you feel pretty helpless. So I just think it's like you gotta be you gotta be just like so kind to yourself, because you're literally growing a human, and just like, be able to do what you can. I wish I could come on here and be like, I've been like this, but it's just not been the case, and I think that's fine. And now that I feel better, I can start exercising again, go on walks, do what I can and what I manage. Some weeks I might feel like I'm able to do more, some weeks I might not. But I just like, I'm excited for this next little chapter, and I'm very excited to be bringing you guys. It makes me upset again. I was not meant to cry. No, I'm just like, obviously I can't wait to be a mum. It just makes me emotional. I'm sorry if it's been like in and out. I'm also gonna link like loads of some like charities that I've personally found really helpful with endometriosis. The doctor I went to for both my fibroid and endometriosis in London, Alfred Kuttner, he's incredible and very like doctor, but like, you know, tells you what you need to hear. And yeah, my scarring's like pretty minimal. I'm quite lucky. I do heal quite well. I mean, also, I know I'm gonna get asked lots of questions on what I've been like moisturizing myself with. Guys, I've used castor oil 3 times on my belly in like 5 months. It's just a lot of surface area, you know? I'm tired, and it's just a lot. I will stop moisturizing, I know I need to, but just so many things. So many things to think about. Oh, and the itchiness. Honestly, every pregnancy thing that you can suffer from, I have had. I have been that person, unfortunately. Like, so itchy. I didn't want to moisturize. Like, the moisturizing just made me feel like, ugh. Like, Alex don't moisturize, so I would just get in like a cold shower to like stop the itchiness. But it was like everywhere. Like, my tits were itching, like my legs were itching, and everything was itchy. And then recently I started getting the itch back, and I'm like, better fuck off itch, because the itch is awful. Like sharp pains in my nipples, like my tits were so fucking tender to start with. Like the first like 9 weeks, my boobs were like, I was like, oh my fucking god, like so painful. And then just it's just a lot. But I mean, I guess it's quite a lot what we have to do. But mentally, I think it's so important to like try and stay positive and just be like kind to yourself, because I think that's what's really gonna like get you through, and not like overcommit. I think I'm, you know, the times where I've felt really knackered is obviously I've still been working throughout, and I plan on working probably right until the end. But like sometimes it's just I just get so exhausted, and then that's when you can get ill and stuff like that. So it's just like having to manage that, and I think I do struggle to like maybe it's just funny. I'm like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, hello. I feel like I look so different. You get so puffy and inflamed in your face. But I think it's just, yeah, I'm just trying to show up in the best way that I can. I know I came offline because I needed to like work on myself, but you know, I'm not gonna just come on back to YouTube and then be like, whoa, just talk about the highs and stuff like that, because I think it's so important to show a bit of both, but also like, I wanna just, I don't like consuming like too much like negativity, and I'm also so grateful and I'm so lucky for the life I have. And so a complaint about like how lucky am I that I get to complain about being pregnant because I'm pregnant, like I get it. So yeah, and also we're not finding out the gender. And maybe I should do a bit, I've been sat down for too long, oh my god. Maybe I should do a bit more of like a pregnancy video. Let me know if you want me to do that. Stuff about like gender and all that stuff, because we're not finding out. And actually, I'll probably speak about this again, but it's the best decision ever. Like, I'm so excited now to find out what it is, and I didn't really care too much before. So was at my door. But yeah, so we're not finding out, and I honestly could not recommend more. You do not get very many surprises in life. I am the most impatient woman ever, and even for me, it's like, now if I knew if it was a girl or a boy, I'd be like, well, I can't even bloody see you. Okay, this doesn't mean, I don't think I'd just be the same. So like now I've got so much less expectation on oh, I really want a girl, I really want a boy. Although I will say, you know, if I was to have 2 boys, I would want a girl. If I had 2 girls, I'd be like, oh, I really want a boy, but would I try again? I don't know. I mean, I'd have 4 babies, but I don't know if I'd be pregnant 4 times. Let's focus on the one. Let's just focus on the one for now. See how that goes. And then, yeah, we'll do another video and stuff, and another like little catch up on pregnancy and the next like 2nd, 3rd trimester basically. But yeah, I can't believe it feels like it's been so long, and I've only just announced, which is crazy. But I'm so glad that it's such a personal thing, and I'm just glad that I've kept it personal. But yeah, again, thank you so much to everyone who has sent me such lovely messages. I think especially like my OGs, who have kind of followed a bit of my journey, my health journey and stuff like that. Like, I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm just so lucky that we have this like platform to be able to kind of share and stuff. I think sometimes it's difficult because I feel like I've just shared that, I've just said it, they know that, but I should probably share more, and again, because people miss things and stuff like that. But yeah, lots of other things to update you on, but maybe, you know, as this is my first video back of full-blown waffle, that maybe I should just let it be my waffle video, and then you guys can we'll do a Q&A. So I think that will be a lot more like bam, 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 rather than just me talking at you for this duration of time. And sorry that I got emotional, but I could blame it on the hormones. But when I talk about things that I don't really talk about, I just get emotional, I think, because I don't really speak on things unless I have to. For example, like now, or if someone like specifically asks me about something, I'm such a like, if I want to cry, I'll just hit the shower. I'll hit that shower, have a little cry, and then, so yeah, emotional. I just seen a message from the mum who I used to nanny for. That's gonna make me bloody cry as well. And I looked after her 2 children, and I literally loved them like so, I mean, I still do like love them so much, and she is such a powerhouse. And now looking back, it's so interesting. She was a single mum, and she worked so hard for her children to give her children like the best life, and I have so much respect for her. And I think when I nannied them, I was young, and I think maybe I didn't understand like I would now, but I just have like such respect for her, and her children have come out absolutely perfect and beautiful. I have nothing to do with that. But yeah, I mean, that was fun. They were 9 and 11 though, so I've not dealt with a baby. but they actually make me so excited to have children. And when they get to that age, don't get me wrong, they were terrors. They were absolute terrors, but just so much fun. So all the phases to come, which I think is so funny, isn't it? Because people fixate on like the baby, and I'm like, this when it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's like there's so much amazing ups and downs and fun and all the rest of it to come. I'll take you guys with me. And I'm so happy to be back on YouTube. I feel like safe space, happy, and I can just waffle here. It's like a little therapy session for me, actually. Anyway, guys, I'm actually gonna leave you now. Please ask me any questions below and let me know maybe if I should do just a bit of a question box potentially on Instagram. I'm literally dreaming myself. No, guys, I love you, and thank you for letting me share this news with you. And I cannot wait to catch up with you next video. It's going to be a video from probably a while ago, and I'm so sorry if I'm a negative Nancy in it. But I was really not feeling good. It was not pre-pregnancy. It was like the trenches of the pregnancy, and I was just moaning, to be honest with you, and neggy. So we've moved past that phase. And we're up, and I'm just growing and glowing. Love you guys. Chat to you soon. Oh, makeup still intact. Stunning.